Hello students, how are you? I think you all will be fine. Uh, Last part of this story um, left. So let us see that what is the conclusion last this writer has given in this story. As we saw that how Mrs. Pumphrey fed her dog. Uh, Her dog became very fat, unable to walk, even started panting, and even that not able to just walk properly. So finally, it was sent to the Mr. Harriet clinic, where he started his treatment. And how he treated this dog there. He left this dog among all the dogs, and he quietly, gradually started following them. He also kept restriction on his diet. Whatever food he gave, he had to depend on them, and all the luxurious things which he was getting uh, at Pumphrey's house, that was stopped, and he started playing naturally in natural environment along with all the dogs, and finally became very slim and happy one. So let us see that when as this dog was there, Pumphrey used to send a lot of eating material every day, near about 2 dozen of eggs, as well as the costly brandy for the dog. And this writer who loved enjoying just eating a breakfast, a good breakfast there, just lunch and dinner. Along with the brandy, he was enjoying his friends also along with him, enjoying this all food material which continuously Mrs. Pumphrey was sending to the clinic. So he started thinking, if possible, he would like to keep this dog as a permanent guest, and as to continue his supply whatever was coming to his clinic from Mrs. Pumphrey. But he saw that every day she used to make so many calls to know the condition of the dog, and she was very disappointed. Finally, he made a call back to her and told her, "Your dog is fit now and you can take it home." Let us see that the rest of he would hardly believe then the brandy came from the put a final edge of the trick's constitution. For a few nights the fine spirit was rolled around, inhaled, and recently drunk. He used this brandy and costly drink, and that was a rich dinner, and even breakfast he enjoyed very well. So he loved these all activities. They were days the deep content, starting well with the extra egg in the morning, improved the sustained by this midday wine, and finished the luxuriously round the fire with this brandy. And he enjoyed sitting around the fire, drank this brandy, and that was a good time for the doctor, as he didn't give anything, whatever the thing that Pumphrey sent to the dog, but he even simply left him, and simple food he used to give as he used to give to the other dog, and he was sleeping in natural environment in a box which he made for him. So see, the temptation to keep Tricky was on a permanent guest had been that knew the Pumphrey was suffering, and after the fortnight felt compelled to phone and tell her that the little dog had recovered and awaiting collection. But he saw the condition of Pumphrey. He always used to make call to him, trying to know the condition, and finally he called back to just Pumphrey to take your dog back, as your dog is now fit and fine. See that within the minute, about a 30 feet long gleaming black metal drew up outside the surgery. Within 30 minutes, signing just a car which gleaming black metal drew. This is the name of the car, a long black metal just came within the 30 minutes in front of the surgery, and Pumphrey, see that and Chauffeur opened the door, and I could just make just out of the figure of Mrs. Pumphrey, almost lost in the interior, and hands were tightly clasped in front of her. Her lips trembled. Oh, Mr. Harriot, do tell me the truth. Is the really better? She asked while sitting inside the car. She asked, oh Harriet, oh Mr. Harriet, you tell really my dog is fit or not? She asked this question to doctor. See that, yes, he's fine, doctor replied. There's no need for you to get out of the car. I will go and fetch him. And I walked through the house into the garden, and a mass of dog was hurtling round and round, and that lawn, and in their midst, ears flapping, tail waving, was the little golden figure of Tricky, and Tricky was among all the dogs playing, just flapping ears, that is the tail waving, and little golden figure, just his color was golden color there, and in 2 weeks he had been transformed into the lil, the had muscled animal, and that he was become transformed, changed from very fat to slim, and he was keeping well with the packs, stretching out the great hound, his chest almost brushing the ground, and even see that he was enjoy playing there, running along with the dog, jumping there, and even finally he became very fit and fine, and just see that. I carried him back along this passage of the front of the house. The chauffeur was still holding the car door open. With this trick, he saw that mistress took off from my arms in a tremendous leap and sailed into Mrs. Pumphrey's lap. She gave a startled oh, and then had to defend herself as he swarmed over her, licking her face and barking as he saw this dog saw Mrs. Pumphrey, and he at once jumped on her lap as door still was open. Chauffeur was holding particular that door of the car, and as he jumped on the lap of Pumphrey and started licking her face and shouting, barking there. During this accident, I helped the chauffeur to bring out the bed's toys, coats and bowls on none which had been used. Every article which he got back, just he from Mrs. Pumphrey, he returned back. He called the chauffeur driver to just take these all the articles which were brought along with the this dog. He didn't use any type of the cloth and coat, and that is the bowls which is specially made for him. He didn't use anything, and he returned all the article to Mrs. Pumphrey. See that as the car moved away, Mrs. Pumphrey leaned out of the window, tears shone in her eyes, her lips trembled. "Oh, Mr. Harriet," she cried, "how can I ever thank you? This is the trim for..." And then finally she thanked Mr. Harriet. Surprisingly, she was very surprised to see the development, whatever had taken place in dog, and she by just having tears in her eyes, she thanked Mr. Harriet for his surgery, for his work, whatever he did. Actually, she was realizing that perhaps he had done some surgery, and that's why my dog is very fit and fine. So she thanked Mr. Harriet. So let us see, some questions are there. This is the last paragraph. And why is Mrs. Pumphrey worried about Tricky? As you know, he was very dull and lethargic, unable to walk, and too much fat and overweight he was. So due to that, he was Tricky. The dog was listless, seemed to have no energy. Mrs. Pumphrey was worried about him because she thought that he was suffering from malnutrition. After providing such type of the nutrition, still she was worried that perhaps my dog is listless, lacking energy, and lacking of nutrition. He is suffering from malnutrition, lack of nutrition, and that's why she was worried. What does she do to help him? Is she wise in that? She thinks that Tricky was suffering from malnutrition. She started giving him extra drink, extra energy, and even the extra drink in between two meals. Who is I in this story? As you know, that story narrator James Harriet is here as writer. He is also writer of this story, so I refer to James Harriet. Is the narrator as rich as Tricky mistress? No, he was a middle class one. Family belongs to middle class. He was not as rich as the Mrs. Tricky. Mrs. Pumphrey. Sorry, this is wrong. I think he was not as rich as Mrs. Pumphrey was. How does he treat the dog? He took the dog to the hospital and let the Tricky mixed with the other dog, and he did not pamper him. He treated him harshly. He didn't give too much. You see that other things or other comforts which he was getting at home. He even didn't give any type of the extra food or extra you see that drink or the brandy or eggs, etc., etc. Whatever, he stopped everything. He treated him harshly. He restricted his diet. He left him openly to play in the dog, and finally he became very slim. So see, why is the attempt to keep Tricky as the permanent guest? As you see that lot of eating material he was getting. Mrs. Pumphrey sent wine and enriched the Tricky's blood. Later he started to send brandy and eggs for him. Actually, Tricky did not need these all the thing. Mr. Harriet had a good breakfast with eggs, he had a good lunch with the wine, and the grand dinner with brandy. So he was tempted to keep this dog. So this much enough for today. Rest of the thing I will meet again you. Thank you very much.